know who I am.
You don't have any identification? Don't remember anything?
I don't think so.
Looks like an overdose of sodium pentothal.
The only reason you're here is to stop me, to make sure the Russians get Robert to Moscow without a hitch.
Are you married?
No. Are you?
No.
Hey, Mike!
What about getting Robert back?
We intend to get him back in our way.
Do you intend to tell that to his wife and child?
What happened? Where has he been?
Look out!
They say it pays to advertise, but I never thought the sign on my window would bring in clients. Most New Yorkers never look up when they walk. It could be hazardous to their shoes. But on a brisk Wednesday afternoon, a certain lost soul was searching desperately for a sign of help, and he just happened to find mine.
Come on, Marvin, give me a break. How can a muffler cost $200? The car's barely worth that. I know you got to pay the rent. So do I.
Come on.
Well, now, what's going on out there?
Angela's here, Mike. She wants to talk to you again. Hi, Mike. This is Humphrey. He'll be great. He's got a real nose for the street.
Hang on, Marvin. Angela, you're gorgeous. Listen, I do not need a dog for a partner.
But he'll be terrific for picking up clues.
Yeah, but who's going to pick up after him? Marvin, we're talking about a new muffler. We're not talking about a new motor. No,
Can I help you?
I hope so.
$90. That's exactly it. Angela, please.
Mike, this gentleman needs to speak with you.
Velda, would you mind?
It's important.
Yes.
Mike!
Hang on, Marvin. I'll have to call you back. Yes, I won't call you back. I'm sorry, Angela. What's your problem, mister?
Well, that's the problem, Mike.
What is?
Tell him.
I don't know who I am.
And he's been wandering around.
Well, have a seat. Stop wandering. You don't have any identification?
No, I don't think so.
No identification, no money, no nothing. I mean, look at him. He's as helpless as a baby. Don't worry, Mike will take care of him.
You don't remember anything?
Well, just looking up from the street and seeing your name in the window. It's not very encouraging, is it?
Well, it's a head start. I can tell you this, you're probably not from New York, and you haven't been wandering around that long.
Well, how can you tell?
Well, first of all, you don't have a New York accent. It looks like you shaved this morning. And you obviously didn't sleep in those clothes.
I have a scarf. That'll help.
It might. Listen, I think we better get you over to the police.
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I guess I've done something wrong, broken the law, haven't I?
Well, we can't be sure of that.
I can tell you this. Checking with the police is probably the best way to find out. Okay?
Okay.
My car's down the street. Listen, I gotta call you something. I know it's not too original, but how does John Doe sound?
Okay, I guess.
Over here.
I came out of there.
Watch out, man! Came out of here?
Yeah.
When did you come out of here?
Well,
What were you doing there? Do you remember anything else?
no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, it's okay. Excuse me, pal. You by any chance recognize this man?
I don't think so. Should I?
Well, he was in this building. He came out of it.
No, well, I've been on duty.
You sure?
I never saw him before.
Thanks anyway.
Have a good day, sir.
Спасибо. Посмотри, вот он.
Очень хорошо. Мы должны принести его назад. Принести автомобиль.
I've known a few John Does in my time, but most of them lived in the morgue. I was counting on Pat to help me find out where this one lived. But at the time, neither John Doe nor I realized that somebody else was concerned about him, too.
Yeah, will you get on it and get back to me? I'm telling you right now, Sergeant, I don't want to hear any excuses. That's it.
Pat, I'd like you to meet John Doe.
And I'm Sergeant Friday. What's up, Mike?
Point is, he can't remember his own name. He's got total amnesia.
Nothing?
I'm afraid not.
Okay. Get him over to missing persons.
Listen, Pat, this guy needs some extra help. Now, the only thing we've got to work with is a scar on his right forearm, and he's got the feeling he's done something wrong.
Well, I guess I could get his prints out with the description. I don't know what good it's going to do.
Hey, maybe we could try a few names.
Yeah. How's it going, Nicky?
How you feeling, Bernie?
Tommy.
Sam?
Terry.
Farley?
Farley.
Arthur?
George. Your name is George.
How about Jim? Bruce?
Frank.
Gordon?
Edward.
Charlie?
Sam.
What about a Bobby?
Sorry, fellas, it's Robert.
Robert.
Robert who?
What about a last name?
Sorry.
Okay, it's a start. I got an idea.
After you, Bob.
Height 5'8", weight 165, hair grayish brown, distinguishing marks, crescent-shaped scar on right forearm.
What if I turn out to be a killer or something like that?
Bob, you won't have to bother turning yourself in.
Got a point.
That's him, all right. The scar nails him.
In police custody. But he doesn't know who he is.
Looks like an overdose of sodium pentothal. Too much and it can induce amnesia. I've seen it happen before.
How do we get him back without raising a stink?
We don't. Let the Russians get him back.
You can't do that. If they keep working on him, there's liable to be brain damage.
I'm not aborting this mission on what could happen. There's too much at stake. I intend to get some coverage over there as soon as possible. One eye on Robert, another on the Russians. Without bothering them.
Wait a minute, Sharp. You're taking a lot of things on your own here.
That's right. Whatever it takes. My authority, my responsibility. Gentlemen?
Look, it's the car. Hey, you got it all wrong. He was trying to help me. You should be shut up.
Get over by him on the car.
Yeah, but you...
Blew it, Bobby. You should have kept moving.
Theater here on A&E.
For a guy that doesn't know anybody, a lot of people know him. Mike, are you sure about those accents?
Come on, Pat. I should know a foreign accent when I hear one. I spent enough time in the Bronx.
Oops, okay. Fun is fun, but Robert here is hot.
Yeah, and anybody who gets too close to him is going to get burned.
Captain Chambers, this man is a menace. Now, I happen to be aware of the unauthorized check you ran on Hammer's friend here, and I'm also aware of the results. We get another gross of bullets flying around the streets of Manhattan. Now, I want this man in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Well, unless I misread the situation, someone tried to kidnap him, thus causing potential bodily harm to various innocent bystanders. Ergo...
Hey, watch your language. You want some action, you get a court order.
I intend to. Listen, this man needs professional help, like a session with our police psychiatrist.
You should know you spent enough time with him.
Robert, wouldn't you like to come with me? We could talk to Dr. Shulman. He's a very nice man.
No.
All right, I understand. You don't want to talk to a stranger. You'd rather talk to someone you can trust, someone who happens to have had several psychology courses in college and is eminently qualified to deal with the situation.
No.
This man has a dangerous personality, and I intend to talk to Judge Bannock as soon as possible.
Give him my regards. Good work, Robert. You may have lost your memory, but you still recognize a yo-yo.
Well, Barron's right about one thing. He needs protection, police protection.
No way. You give him police protection, that's going to draw more attention to him. No thanks.
Robert.
No, I'm staying with Mike.
Be careful.
Can you cook? I wasn't opposed to putting Robert up, but I didn't want to leave him alone. So I decided to hide him away with somebody I could trust to take care of strays. I was just hoping he'd been wormed.
No problem. Love to have him. No trouble at all. B2's empty. Would you like that one? Just kidding, fellas. There's a cot in the storeroom.
Thanks, Angela.
Hope you like dogs.
Well, I think I do. Well, hi, boy. Hey, fella.
Who's after him?
I wish I knew.
I forgot to mention charges. Dinner, my place, as soon as you're free.
You've got a deal.
Okay, I'll be right back.
You make quick pals.
He looks just like Bruno.
Bruno. Is that your dog's name?
We'd usually take him for a walk after dinner. It doesn't matter where we start from. Amy would always steer us into Henley's. She used to call it her Blackberry Ripple pit stop. Hey, boy, you know, you look exactly like Bruno. Yeah.
Robert. Amy, is that your wife?
Oh, of course not. Amy's only 7 years old.
Then she's your daughter.
My daughter?
Your daughter's name is Amy. What's your wife's name?
My wife?
Let's go back to Amy. You've got a daughter whose name is Amy.
I do? I'm sorry, Mike. I just can't remember.
Besides Blackberry Ripple, Henley's had 68 other kinds of ice cream. I'd been through 14 of them before anybody showed up that looked like an Amy or a Bruno. I was about to meet Robert's little family until a couple of cousins showed up that I hadn't counted on. I was pretty sure that Robert wouldn't have a chauffeur and a butler, so I was beginning to get the picture. Somebody was protecting Robert's wife and child, but I had no idea who or why. What had Robert done to put his family in danger? Or maybe it was Bruno who needed protective custody. In any case, I followed them through the streets of White Plains, the town where New Yorkers move if they want to buy a bird bath or run through the sprinklers. At last, I had found somewhere to bring Robert. 1444 Walling Drive. So Robert was just your average nice guy from the suburbs with a wife and a kid and a dog. And why were people out to get him? It was up to me to find out, because he sure as hell didn't know.
Morning.
Morning, Mike.
Come up with anything on 1444 Walling Drive?
Just coming up. But I think we better talk first.
About what?
Well, the bank for one, and Joey Dreyer for another, and Mr. Dortmund down at the deli. But first, I think you better talk to our landlord. He's in there waiting.
Thanks. Good morning, Mr. Monroe.
Hammer, I never liked the idea of a gumshoe in my building.
Yeah?
But things are really getting out of hand now.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a government investigation. People asking me questions, all kinds of questions about you. Now, where I come from, that means trouble up to the armpits. And I don't need a tenant like that in this building. So, good luck and kindly vacate these offices by the 1st of the month.
You want me to leave the roaches?
You brought them, you take them with you.
What's with him?
That's what I've been trying to tell you. Everyone in the neighborhood's being questioned about Mike Hammer. I don't get it. Why is the government turning the spotlight on you?
Robert.
Robert? What has he got to do with the government?
I don't know, but since you're talking to everybody else but me, I'd sure like to find out. Get Pat on the phone, will you?
Sure. Oh, this is what the computer came up with on 1444 Walling Drive.
Mr. and Mrs. Robert Miller.
Yeah, it looks like Robert is Robert Miller. Mike Hammer Investigations.
Belle, it's Pat.
Oh, hi, Pat.
Tell Mike I want to see him now at his place.
Oh, sure. Boy, is he in a bad mood. He wants to meet you right away. Your apartment.
My apartment?
That's what he said.
Oh.
Getting anything on a Robert Miller wasn't much easier than finding out about a John Doe. Life would be so much simpler if his name were just Guggenheimer. Whoever he was, he'd suddenly made me very popular.
Well, it's about time, pal.
Well, what do you use, a broomstick? Mind if I make myself at home?
Mike, we're gonna have to
Look,
talk.
before we do your problem, tell me something. Why is the government running a security check on me? Like I was bringing in bombs from Bulgaria.
Don't feel so special, pal. They're doing the same number on me. I don't know what it's all about, but I got a hunch where it started.
Robert.
Robert.
It's hard to tell whether they want to hang him or help him, but one thing's for sure, they do not want us involved.
Come here, let me show you something. Mike, let me show you something. Come here. Look at this. I am actually being tailed. Look.
No, that's my tail.
No, that's my tail.
No, your tail is over there, the red car.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's not our problem. Well, listen, I think the best thing we can do is to hand Robert over to you guys for safekeeping. Then whoever wants him will just have to go through police channels, that's all. Let me wash that out for you, okay?
Sure, yeah.
What are you doing? Listen, we gotta fake this thing. We've gotta fake handing Robert over to you until we find out what's going on. Agreed?
No way. I'm not going against the government. Not my own government.
Pat, your own government doesn't trust you. Now listen. All I know is I have got a client who's in danger and who needs help. Until I find out what's going on, who's trying to do what to who, he's my obligation. You understand that? So listen, you gonna help me out?
What do you want to do?
Complicate their lives.
Robert, come in. Oh, Robert. Where have you been?
Well, Lisa?
Yes.
You're Robert's wife.
Yes.
Daddy!
Oh, Amy! Amy, I've missed you.
I missed you too.
Well, let's not stand here in the hallway. Come on in. Are you all right?
Yeah, I guess I'm fine.
Who's he?
Oh, this is Mike. He's a friend. Hey, Bruno! How you doing, boy?
What happened? Where has he been?
I don't know. Neither does he, except that he lost his memory.
Who are you?
My name is Mike Hammer. I'm a private investigator. Your husband wandered into my office, and I've been trying to find out who he is and what happened to him.
Mike, this is Bruno. I was telling you about him. Mike, I think I remember.
Sharp, Federal Security Agency.
So?
Hammer, this is the last time you get in the way of the government.
As if a midnight meeting with the feds weren't bad enough, Pat had taken a liking to my hat and coat.
Look, Chambers, as far as I'm concerned, this little detour is unnecessary.
Not when you find the average citizen who happens to be a personal friend of mine surrounded by guys with guns.
We're not gangsters, Captain. Federal Security Agency, remember? We happen to be on the same side.
Well, you'd fool me.
All right. Then you tell me about this man.
Well, I know I trust him a hell of a lot more than I trust you. Now, what's this bull about putting me under surveillance, huh?
Only because we weren't sure about your friend, Mr. Hammer.
Sure about what?
Sure that you weren't with the KGB, employed by them, Russian secret police.
Listen, would you mind telling me who Robert Miller is and everything else you haven't told us so far?
All right. Robert Miller was a scientist for Starlab Systems out on the island. The KGB approached him, tried to get him to sell out, and he came to us instead.
And you turned him into a double agent?
Right. But before you condemn us, Hammer, I think there's something you should know. Robert Miller volunteered to help, and I think that he's a pretty solid American.
I'm not worried about him, pal.
Unfortunately, the KGB picked up on Robert's status, realized he was a double agent.
Is that when they grabbed him?
Grabbed him, tried to pump him. Unfortunately...
Hey, wait a minute. Why is it that with you guys everything comes out unfortunately?
Mike, let him talk.
Unfortunately, the KGB's been playing around with a new version of sodium pentothal. It has a nasty tendency to cause amnesia.
Do you think he talked first?
No, they wouldn't have grabbed him again. He couldn't hurt us much anyway. Robert's knowledge was highly selective.
Thank God.
I worry about the security of this country, Hammer. What do you worry about?
I worry about people, pal.
Okay, this is getting us nowhere. Now, what are they going to do next?
Try to get him out of the country. There's a KGB clinic off Jurinsky Square in Moscow which specializes in this sort of thing. Extracting information from the mind.
What are you guys doing to stop him?
Everything we can. But it's a high-stakes game, Hammer. We don't always win, do you?
No, and I don't like losing either, unfortunately.
Well, Hammer, this is one time you got a little too big for your britches. I'd like to see you double-talk the federal government and get away with it. Hey, you!
I'll make a note.
What's going on here?
We're having an identity crisis, Counselor.
I heard the government arrested you.
Yeah, but they just unarrested me.
Oh, well, don't get too comfortable. Lisa Miller called, Robert's wife. She wants to see you as soon as possible.
Drink your coffee.
Thanks.
I hardly believe how quickly Robert's wife had gotten the place together. I wondered if her home insurance policy covered head-on collisions with oncoming traffic.
Nice job, didn't they?
Not bad. Leave me their card in case I want to redecorate my apartment.
Frankly, I thought you were with the agency. Private investigator? Seems such a neat cover for the government agent. And then I discovered you came to this affair quite by accident. What I don't understand is why you are still involved.
Would you believe me if I told you I like the guy?
No, but this is my training. For the amateur, you are very good, you know?
Thanks. I'll use that as an endorsement in the yellow pages. So where is he?
Safe, but uncommunicative.
Well, that's your fault. Next time, don't play around with sodium pentothal. So what do we do now? Russian folk dances?
Why don't we talk in a more congenial atmosphere?
Well, that's your fault. Next time, don't play around with sodium pentothal. So what do we do now? Russian folk dances? Why don't we talk? In a more congenial atmosphere.
Why don't we talk? In a more congenial atmosphere.
Well, that's your fault. Next time, don't play around with sodium pentothal. So what do we do now? Russian folk dances? Why don't we talk?
Have a nice day, sir.
Don't expect a tip.
Coat and hat, sir.
Make yourself comfortable. Sit down.
Я пойду внизу позвонить Варёву.
Хорошо. На здоровье.
Same to you. What are we drinking to?
Spirit of cooperation.
Where's Robert?
Are you married?
No. You?
No.
What about you and your friend? What's his name?
Alexei? One does not make laugh with one's colleagues.
Really? What about with one's enemies?
That depends on the caliber of the enemy. Your caliber, for example?
Let's quit the romance, sweetheart, and get to the point. You want a lot more than just a little pleasure.
True. Robert trusted you.
Right. And you figured maybe he had a moment of recall and told me a few things, huh?
Yes.
Forget it. Even if I knew what he did, or understood anything he might have told me, I wouldn't tell you a damn thing.
This is a problem with the patriots.
You've got that right, sweetheart.
What a shame.
Why? Because now you're going to have to kill me? Thanks for being so concerned, but you were going to do that anyway. You didn't even bother to blindfold me on the way over here, which means you never expect me to leave, right?
This is quite true.
Что с ним?
Ничего.
Все равно, нам надо уезжать.
Хорошо.
Get up.
This way, sir.
Очень жалко.
Drop dead ski.
Пойдем.
Theater here on A&E.
Damn it, Mike. I told you we're in way over our heads.
Listen, Pat, I was not expecting the whole Russian secret police.
Hammer? I sure beat the odds on that one. I don't know whether you're lucky or good.
I'd say I was good and lucky. Would you mind telling me what happened to Robert's wife?
We relocated her. Safer quarters.
Sorry, I didn't get the moving notice.
Next time, stick to divorce cases.
Hey, pal. What are you doing about Robert? The last time we talked, you said the Russians would try to get him out of the country.
We're keeping an eye on the situation.
That's it? You're keeping an eye on the situation? I don't understand it. There's a few of them and a regiment of you. Why aren't you out combing the streets, bringing them in?
Because we've got to move very carefully. Look, Hammer, there's a lot you don't understand.
Well, pretend I'm not stupid.
Count me in, too.
All right. Unofficially, Alexei Olmanov and Natasha Kerensky are KGB agents. Officially, they're approved representatives of Mostorg, one of the largest Soviet trading organizations. And because of their official status, we have to act with a certain amount of discretion.
Oh, come on. Cut the bullshine. What about getting Robert back?
We intend to get him back in our way.
Do you intend to tell that to his wife and child? Your way?
You can save the bleeding heart routine, Hammer. For your information, Robert Miller never saw his wife and little girl until a few months ago.
What?
That's right. He thinks they're real only because his memory only goes back so far. But the fact is, we provided them. That squares away, friend.
I'll make a note, pal.
Good.
Something stinks.
What are you talking about?
A nice little guy named Robert Miller. The Russians have him, and nobody seems to give a damn on our side.
Mike, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about this guy Sharp. There's something crazy about those blue eyes, I'm telling you. Get the job done, no matter what it takes. Even if you have to kill everybody in your way. Like Robert.
What could they possibly gain by killing him?
Look, the Russians intend to sneak him out of the country. Now, what if Sharp wanted it that way?
For what reason? This is heavy stuff. The feds know what they're doing.
That's exactly what bothers me. They know what they're doing. They got this guy Sharp, this gung-ho fanatic in charge who doesn't seem to give a damn about Robert.
Okay, even if you're right, what can you do about it?
Plenty.
Here we go. Mostorg Trading. Commercial and service ties. Not available. I'm sorry, Mike, but there's a government-restricted code on that baby.
Ah! What did I tell you? What do you think you're doing? This is exactly what I expected. The feds told me you might try to meddle in on the Miller case again.
Barrington, this guy needs our help.
He's got the best help in the world, the United States government. I'm sorry to spoil your little game, Hammer. Not that it would have mattered. You need the DMX code for restricted information. Let's go to my office and figure out what charges we can file against this man.
Annie, sweetheart, what do you know about the DMX secret code?
Well, it's not that secret. In fact, it's coded into Barrington's computer.
No kidding. Any idea how I can break into Barrington's computer?
Come on, Mike. You know I can't do anything like that. But of course, if you did it, that would be different, wouldn't it?
You sure know how to give a guy happy fingers. The computer was not only entertaining, it was also informative. I learned that Natasha and her pals were tied in with a carrier named North Sea Air Cargo. The plane had weekly flights to Moscow, and it just so happened one was about to leave in a couple of hours. If my guess was right, the cargo would include a guy named Robert Miller. I didn't know when the tourist season hit Russia, but I was pretty sure Robert hadn't packed his babushka. I knew I was on the right track when I spotted the KGB company car. The commies must pay pretty well these days. I found the cargo building locked, but it was obvious that people had gotten inside. More people than I realized. Here, let me help you.
Come on, Robert. Take the pill. It will make you feel much better.
nice surprise. I was just about to give up on you guys.
Damn it, I told you to stay out of this.
What are we waiting for? Come on, Robert's out there. Let's go.
Don't be an idiot, Hammer.
What the hell is going on here? Wait a minute. You want it this way. You want them to take Robert, don't you? You want him to clean out his brain because he's full of all the wrong information. That's it, isn't it?
This is national security, Hammer. There's certain things that have to be done.
And certain people who have to be hurt. Listen, the only reason you're here is to stop me, to make sure the Russians get Robert to Moscow without a hitch. You decided this all by yourself, didn't you? You let them take Robert. You're not the government, Sharp. The only security you're interested in is your own.
Look, it's not as cold-blooded as you think. The Russians get what they think they want. We get what we want. Throw them off on a technical tangent.
What about Robert?
You'll be all right. We get him back on a trade, no harm done.
Not if you don't care about destroying a man's mind.
Starting to load.
All right, tell them to clear the tower.
Пошли в машину.
The KGB didn't realize there was going to be a bon voyage party and departed a little ahead of schedule. Robert opened his eyes to find he was still in the land of the free. The Ruskies left empty-handed. So it wouldn't be long before Natasha would be sipping her vodka in Siberia.
Well, I would say thanks, but I guess you didn't have any choice.
What the hell? Win some, lose some. How would you like to come into the agency, Hammer? You're a little undisciplined, but I suppose we could live with that.
Yeah, but I couldn't.
Take care of Robert. He's a good man.
You all right?
Mike, it's back. I know who I am. I've got it back.
You mean my driving jarred your memory?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I can remember everything.
Well, you don't sound too happy about it.
Well, I just remembered I have a dental appointment tomorrow. Root canal work.
Now that you should forget. You've had enough torture for 1 week.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
It's okay, pal.
I think it's just great about Robert.
Yeah.
When does he start back to work?
Monday. He even found himself a new girlfriend.
Who?
You remember Lisa, the wife that he was never married to? Well, he's got a date with her tonight.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Humphrey.
Listen, you know a quieter place we could go to?
Come with me.
Tonight on American Justice, find out how O.J. Simpson's miracle-working defense team did it at 9 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Now, Remington Steele goes on the air to investigate 2 disc jockeys suspected of murder. Next on A&E.